I'm wet. Alright, almost done. This will have to do for now. So, where were we? Man, I don't know if it's just a me thing, but it's honestly pretty difficult for myself to listen to any new K-pop groups past my prime, which is 2007 through 2015 at best. I think I'm just afraid of actually enjoying the newer stuff, not because I'm closed-minded, even if it does come off as such. So yeah, I am somewhat familiar with aespa, but not enough, which is why I'm going to have to start immersing myself within their concept. But how, you might ask? Basically just by watching variety shows, interviews, live streams, and a bunch of crack videos from the fandom. So while that does inform me about the members' personalities, we're going to need to become parasocial. We need to go harder with today's sponsor, Clutebox. Clutebox is an amazing service that... Alright, I'm just kidding. No way I'm ever going to get sponsored. We will just buy into, consumerism. It was These Are the Kuga manga. Overall, for a debut song, pretty good. It does a nice job at introducing their concept to us as it showcases them in the real world. I assume this is Kwangya, and I assume this subway set is also Kwangya. And that I've seen it in other music videos, but I don't know where. It's also really interesting to start this off from a story standpoint by just talking about how threatening the antagonist is, but despite that, they'll find a way to take them down. And honestly, this song has grown on me on multiple rewatches, but that doesn't mean I still have gripes. In my opinion, I feel like the music video doesn't really highlight the members equally, as I feel like it's 50% Karina, 25% each for Winter and Ning Ning, and then the rest just spilled on Giselle. Which for Karina's sake, could be interesting for the story as it hints to what I assume is supposed to be some kind of dark side, I don't know. But for everyone else, they just exist. The only member that has a clear role is Ning Ning, as she's a hacker of some kind, whereas Giselle and Winter don't have any attributes, and I guess Karina's, she just punches things. Also, Boa shows up at the end. Let's not speak on this any longer. It's a nice ballad. I don't remember if this was a remake, but I do recall this song not doing well due to its concept being Christmas themed in February. But I mean, Super Junior did the same thing a year later. This one overall gives us a nice glance on the softer side of the group and inside of the world. Gosh darn it, I like this song. For me, honestly, this song does a better job at showcasing each member's positions and gives them a good amount of screen time. I especially love Winter and Ning Ning in this music video. They are definitely the highlights of the song, honestly. The visuals too, they're great. It's definitely a heavy improvement from Black Mamba's effects. I really like the space setting they went with. It's pretty cool and kind of on par with Don't Fight the Feeling, honestly. Also, we have this new eye that looks more polished than the main chorus. Alright. The only thing holding the song back from me loving it, besides the fact that it's from Fast and Furious, is the bridge. This is one of the most hardest bridges for me to get through. Basically, if you have no clue about the context of what they are saying, it's just nonsensical gibberish. But I feel like that's why I really like it. I want to dislike this bridge, but but I can't help myself to not do so, as I always crack a smile when the rap starts. Also, this song includes the canonization of the Cosmo, you know, the thing 10 was praising about in 90s love. Overall, I might have to consider this song to be my favorite of the title tracks so far. Oh no, I don't like this song. It's listenable. I just don't think what it's trying to say works in song form, honestly. It's kind of in line with my opinion on Psycho. I like what the song means, but I'd rather read about it than hear it in song. Also, it has the same issues I have with some NCT tracks, where I feel like the rap verses and the vocal verses don't really mesh well together. So when they transition from one and another, it feels jarring. The chorus is catchy for sure, but the lyrics lose me. I get the song is supposed to be the group talking about how unstoppable they are going to be when they go against the Black Mamba. I don't know, I feel like it's just too much. The only saving grace about the song are its pre-choruses, as those are kind of like the only parts I go back to whenever I want to listen to Savage. The dance break is neat, and the setting overall is also cool. I like that there are like a lot of sets, and what I assume is another look at what Kwangya looks like, with her name is Navis. Overall, I like where this is taking the story, but it just feels like it's trying to make itself more than what it is, I guess. So because this is the first mini album, may I present to you the Digipack version of Savage. Yes, this is a Digipack, despite it being the size of 4 of them combined. The B-sides comprise of A Energy, I'll Make You Cry, Yeppy Yeppy, Iconic, and Lucid Dream. My favorite track of the entire album would have to go to Lucid Dream. I think for the first mini album, it's fine. So for some background knowledge, this was a station pre-release for the SM Town Winter album for 2021, as this was the first one in 10 years, and that this is actually a remake of SES's song of the same name, to which I will say they did a good job at modernizing it, as it still carries elements from the original song, but now with that aespa twist. I actually like this version more than the original version, because something about the vocals of the SES version really bother me. It feels soulless in a way that holds back the potential of the members' capabilities, so I'm glad the remake is listenable.
Some people are so mean, I'll be on a phone screen when we're trying to live our life.
Man, I feel called out, even though it's not targeted towards me. Alright, fine, I'll talk. Jeez. So this was the second pre-release track after Illusion, but also their first English single. It's fine overall, though it's not really a song I would go back to often, honestly. It's nice for aespa to do another soft song. Don't get me wrong, but this is definitely a song where I could listen to his segments, but not the entirety of it. Though I'll at least say that this is definitely one of the best English versions we've gotten from SM. I'll say on par with The Boys from SNSD and Bad Boy from Red Velvet, because in my opinion, nothing will reach as low as Regular. I really like how this song is practically next level but in a climactic state. though I wish we got to see more of them infiltrating instead of just standing around. Like, what was Giselle's role? Distracting the guards? Ning's hacking. Winter gained a sword somewhere and is reaching the core, and Karina's doing more punching action. I feel bad for Giselle. A part I honestly could care less about this time is the dance break. I feel like it ruins the flow of the song just due to how slow it is, because at least Savages kept up with the pacing. I just didn't think it was necessary. But overall, it is nice to have something of a conclusion with this arc of the story so far. Again, as this was a mini album, here are the photobook versions of the album, the Kwangya version, and the real world version. The new tracks comprise of Illusion, as stated for the first pre-release single, Lingo, the Korean version of Life's Too Short, and I See You. Also included were Black Mamba, Forever, and Dreams Come True, but no next level? Favorite track would have to be Lingo. I like this album more than Savage by a little bit, but would have liked if half the tracks weren't already released beforehand.
Welcome to my world.
The song was interesting when it got announced, especially because it had Navis as a featuring, as I assume it was supposed to tie into her solo debut. Speaking of her, I honestly thought her inclusion was really odd, as her voice is just uncanny. However, I kind of just accepted it, as it does help individualize itself compared to other groups, I guess. Other than that, especially where this album is going, I don't mind that they chose this song to be the one to connect itself back to the plot. Because speaking of that,
Tell me what you see when you look at me, 'cause I am a 10 out of 10, honestly.
so I didn't hear a lot of positive things about this song when it got released, but I honestly like it. I think having aespa in the real world for a title track is really refreshing, because honestly, yeah, it's just kind of nice seeing this group finally settle down in the real world, just minding their own business. Like, it's not that this is ignoring the story, there's still some story elements, like the world constantly glitching around them, and I guess they have the ability to stop time in their mansion they somehow own. You know what? They're probably in a simulation. Of course, we do have the mini album, the core version being the photobook version. And then we have the zine versions, to which the Welcome to My World version is the Barnes & Noble exclusive, while the spicy version is the Target exclusive. The remaining tracks that are not Welcome to My World comprise of Salty and Sweet, Thirsty, I'm Unhappy, and Till We Meet Again, to which I'm Unhappy, Salty and Sweet, and Thirsty have received track videos. What are track videos, you might ask? From what I've gathered, SM started doing them since 127's second album, and have been primarily doing them for NCT. Basically, they're music videos, but just cut down, as it's supposed to be a preview as opposed to a pre-release. By the way, favorite B-side, I'm Unhappy. Alright, at this point, I'm kind of feeling exhausted at this point. How many more things do we have to cover? Got the Beat, a song for a Tetris movie? Better Things? Another album? An NFT collaboration? No! Disgusting! Alright. Could anything worse happen? The desk calendar, I forgot I put it up there. Is it really the 13th today? Let's check my phone. The Winter album. Just like Dreams Come True, this was a pre-release single for the annual SM Town Winter album. Seeing these two groups together for this song must have been as exciting as seeing DBSK and Super Junior together back in 2005. I was honestly shocked that this song found a way to balance the two groups and gave them equal distribution, to the point I will forget that these two groups aren't a single unit. Also, I find it extremely funny that aespa looks more like a senior group than Red Velvet, because look at how much they tower them. Like here. Oh gosh, Karina's tall. Overall, a really nice pre-release single for a really great collaboration album. So, what do I think about aespa? I think my thoughts on aespa overall is that I don't think they're a bad group. They're just kind of hard for me to like really get myself into. They definitely have a unique storyline, and it feels like something I should be getting into. I don't know, just something about it just isn't as gravitating towards me. And I just think that the majority of their music isn't really for me. Like, I'll be honest and just say, I feel like I'm kind of illiterate on music genres, but I'll kind of just say that aespa's genre of music, I guess, kind of is far from my reach, I guess. I don't know. Like, you know, it's definitely interesting to listen to, and it definitely, like, fits in with their concept and such. But I do feel like before My World, they were kind of in your face about their concept and such, which I kind of think they should have held back on a bit, because if you look at groups like EXO, that does basically have like a similar storyline. At least EXO was able to like contain it and like softly mention it once in a while in their songs, but not make it the song itself. But other than that, like, I do think they're fine. It's just that in the meantime, I don't think they're really going to be a group I would like constantly keep up with. I think I'm probably just more of a casual listener, just kind of like on the same scale as like NCT, I guess. On the flip side though, Kwangya is still a messy concept. For the context within aespa, it's passable. While I think the story could be more original, it's not as jarring to follow as I thought it was going to be, as you can still listen to these songs without context and just assume that the terminology used is just a gimmick. The biggest issue with Kwangya as a concept though, is that it's trying to be more than what it is. Which brings us to the SMCU. Why? It's trying to be the thing that brings all these SM artists together, which I feel is super necessary, because I'm pretty sure SM's one of the very few companies that still allows their artists to appear together. Also, how the heck are we supposed to immerse ourselves with the Kwangya concept when the majority of your artists either have no idea what it is or just laugh it off? I'll say it again, in the context of aespa, it's fine. And honestly, I don't mind EXO crossing into it either, because their story could make sense out of it. Everyone else though? No! Honestly, don't mind the mentions of Kwangya in the songs outside of aespa, as it could just be viewed as an Easter egg. But I swear, they go full on out with every other group going to Kwangya. Officially, that might be it of me dealing with SM's shenanigans. Despite the fact they've had a bunch of shenanigans this year. Finally got that off my chest. Isn't this the same box I used in that fake sponsorship? Ooh. Look at this. We got more plaid. It's not exact plaid. But look, it's like plaid to the max. So, what do we get out of this entire topic? NCT is just filled with a bunch of chaotic guys, while aespa is also filled with a bunch of chaotic girls. However, we do have one more topic of Kwangya to quickly cover. Kwangya 119. This service is used for fans to report malicious comments that are towards artists to SM, or recommend events/ideas. Honestly, I find the recommendations section weird for something called 119, which is why we're going to submit to SM to recommend aespa, the stupidest concept. A tokusatsu concept. Here I can type up the topic and explain it in this section, select the artist, and sent. Alrighty? Gee, what a cop-out. And stay out.